Hey team, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Brian, core design engineer with Brunswick Bowling, and today we're taking a look at my favorite DV8 ball from 2024. If you're subscribed to the channel, then you know that I've already announced my ball of the year picks. I sorted them by ball motion category into 4 categories depending on what the ball was built to do in terms of motion shape. And then I gave you my bronze, silver, and gold medal picks for each of the 4 categories. So feel free to check that video out, and today we're focusing specifically on DV8. If you watched that video, then you might already have an inkling about what my favorite DV8 ball of the year is, but let's go through it. We're going to start by giving some honorable mentions, and I'm going to start with this Wicked Collision. A shiny solid that has HK22, but more than that, it was the first ball to introduce cohesion to the DV8 lineup. As you know, that is our back-end traction performance enhancing additive that we've been putting in the HK22 base. These two combined make more back-end motion and just allow the ball to slow down better in friction than it previously did. That means that it's going to be really strong despite the fact that it's shiny. And if you're looking for a long, strong option that has a little more overall teeth and a little more overall shape than you would expect out of a solid bowling ball, then look no further than the Wicked Collision. My final honorable mention before I give you my pick for ball of the year is going to the Troublemaker Pearl. The Troublemaker Pearl contains the symmetrical dualistic core, and it was the first of its kind that had the patent pending no-thumb technology that we're working with in DV8. As a no-thumb bowler, if you pick a layout that puts your fingers really close to the dot of this ball, then you're drilling mass out of the top of the core, shortening the core, reducing the differential, and therefore reducing the flare potential and the overall motion shape of this ball. You can make it a really weak, really smooth bowling ball. If you want to put your fingers into the side of the core really far from the dot, then you can really boost the total differential and intermediate differential of this core. That means that you can have a differential up in the high 50s and an intermediate differential as high as 0.17 that transforms the symmetrical core into an asymmetrical ball, basically. And what you've got now is a strong and sharp symmetrical pearl option that behaves a little more like an asymmetrical ball to tame those more heavy volumes and fresher conditions than you would normally use a symmetrical pearl on. So because of the versatility of this core, the Troublemaker Pearl, of course, is getting honorable mention. And to build on that technology, we have my favorite ball of the year, my pick for 2024 ball of the year for DV8. It is the new Heckler. The Heckler has the Unholy core. It is an asymmetric core that builds on the same technology of this Troublemaker dualistic core. At 10 intermediate differential, it doesn't have a ton of intermediate differential because of course it's built for two-handed no-thumb bowlers, but it has the same premise. It starts at 0.51 total differential, which is actually relatively high in terms of total flare potential as a neutral undrilled ball. What you can do is put your fingers near the dot to get this ball down to 0.38 total differential after drilling, which is basically a tour style ball with intermediate differential for something like a hammer effect tour motion, but in the DV8 lineup. But more than that, once again, if you put your fingers in a really strong position, really far away from the dot, then what you're left with is a core that just is an absolute monster. You can get as much as mid-60s in total differential and as much as mid-20s in intermediate differential with the strongest layouts that you choose. So that will handle the heaviest, longest patterns for you no matter what your bowler or player style is. And of course, if you choose a layout that puts your fingers somewhere in between the two extremes that I just mentioned, then you're going to have a more benchmark motion shape that's great for a wide variety of heavier conditions. Of course, this ball is sanded, but it does have HK22 as the base and cohesion as an additive in the cover stock, which is going to be our strongest and most continuous cover package that we're currently using. Overall, this is going to be an amazing number 1 ball for two-handed bowlers, no-thumb bowlers, but also thumb-in players alike. And the level of versatility and drilling options that it gives no-thumb bowlers is the reason that it is my number 1 ball of the year for DV8. If you're a pro shop operator or a high-level no-thumb bowler that's super curious about layouts and layout options for the Heckler, for the Troublemaker, and for all no-thumb bowling layout situations, then make sure that you look at my in-depth Heckler video that really runs through what our layouts are, what tools you can get on the DV8 website, how to download them, how to use them, and how to lay the bowling balls out on the actual ball. It's actually really simple. We've given you lots of tools to use on the DV8 Bowling website at the new landing page for no thumb bowlers. So make sure that if you're a pro shop operator drilling for no thumb bowlers, which all of you are by now, or if you're a no thumb bowler who's really intimate into the details about the layouts that you use on your personal bowling balls, that you check that resource out. And of course, if you have any questions about that, any questions about how any of these balls in the DV8 lineup fit into your personal lineup, or if you just want to drop a comment and let me know about your successes with either the Dualistic Core or the Unholy Core in the Troublemaker and the Heckler series, then I'm happy to field any of the questions or any of the comments that you have below. I'm making new videos in the next couple of weeks to detail my favorite balls for all 7 brands in the brands of Brunswick. So until the next video, I'll see you soon.